Hello, friends. Ken Graves here with GodSword. It's Thursday, April the 17th, the year 2025. We have open before us here the final chapter of the Old Testament. It is the fourth chapter of Malachi. This is the sign-off in the Old Covenant from Yahweh. It's only 6 verses. I'll read them. For behold, the day is coming, burning like a furnace, and all the arrogant and every worker of wickedness will be chaff, and the day that is coming will set them aflame, says Yahweh of hosts, so that it will leave them neither root nor branches, neither root nor branch. But for you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in its wings, and you'll go forth and skip about like calves from the stall. And you will tread down the wicked, for they will be ashes under the soles of your feet on that day, which I am preparing, says Yahweh of hosts. Remember the law of Moses, my servant, even the statutes and judgments which I commanded him in Horeb for all Israel. Behold, I'm going to send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and awesome day of Yahweh. And he will turn the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of their children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the land, devoting it to destruction. So we have here God's sign-off. He speaks of a day that is coming, burning like a furnace. It's a great day of judgment, a great day that he refers to it as the great and awesome day of Yahweh. It approaches, burning like a furnace, and in it all, the arrogant and every worker of iniquity will be chaff. What is the chaff? Well, in case you're unaware of this, wheat is harvested, then it's threshed to separate everything that is not the actual grain of wheat, the husk, stalks, all of that unusable material is separated and consumed in the fire. It is ironic that John the Baptist would say of the coming Messiah that the winnowing fan or the winnowing fork was in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor, and he will gather the wheat into the garner, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire. The Messiah is the great separator, that he's the thresher, that he is the one who does the separating. And here, this prophecy of a great day, the great and awesome day of Yahweh, and a fire that consumes, and it consumes so very thoroughly that it leaves the wicked neither root or branch. A tree may suffer the loss of a branch, a tree may suffer the burning even of its branches, but with no root, it cannot come back. This day of judgment is one that there is no coming back from. But then contrast that with the next words in verse 2, but for you who fear my name, the Son of Righteousness will rise with healing in its wings, and you'll go forth and skip about like calves from the stall. The Son, the S-U-N of righteousness. In the very way that life on this planet is dependent upon our Son, our S-U-N, our King, Messiah, he is the S-O-N of God. And life comes from his light. John says, in him was life. The life was the light of men. Christ is that sun of righteousness, this description of healing in its wings, like the rays coming off of the sun, the beams of light are like wings. There's healing in the wings of the sun of righteousness. All right, look, consider this. He says here, we will respond in celebration, skipping about like calves from the stall. That's a beautiful picture. Calf, skipping, getting out, getting free and out in the open space before it grows too large and too meaty. A young cow will frolic, it'll skip, it'll leap and kick. And this will be the celebration of those who fear his name. And in verse 3, you will tread down the wicked, for they will be ashes under the soles of your feet on the day which I am preparing, says Yahweh of hosts. The whole world that was reduced to the dust of ashes, and we tread upon it. The whole world that was, you know, how the Lord tells us repeatedly, especially in the New Testament, love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is of the world, the lust of the eyes, the lust of the flesh, the pride of life. It's all of the world. The world is passing away, but those who do the will of God will abide forever. So the very world that we're told not to love, the whole system, is consumed in this judgment that comes. He says, remember the law of Moses, my servant, even the statutes and judgments which I commanded him in Horeb for all Israel. This is the final word before 4 quiet centuries, 4 centuries in which God sends no prophet. 4 centuries. Then people refer to it as 4 centuries of silence, but is it really silent since he had already spoken? It's not really silent if all of Israel and we need to do is heed what he had already said. God is not so silent, is he? Remember, now that silence would be broken. I'm thinking it was broken even before John the Baptist's ministry breaks the silence, for he's a prophet sent from God. It would be the angel Gabriel sent from God. The angel Gabriel who first is sent to break the silence from Yahweh, being sent to a priest named Zechariah to receive the news that he would be the father of this prophesied forerunner from Malachi chapter 3. The one that has a ministry, spoken of even here. He says, behold, I'm going to send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and awesome day of Yahweh. And what will he do? He'll turn the hearts of the fathers to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers, lest I come and strike the land, devoting it to destruction. Elijah will come, and when the angel breaks this silence, 4 centuries of silence, with a message to the old priest, he tells him you're going to have a son, and he will be this one. This one that was the last thing mentioned by any of God's prophets. This prophet who was prophesied. That makes John the Baptist unique, doesn't it? The prophet who was prophesied. He comes to prophesy, but he also comes in fulfillment of prophecy. From Luke 1:16. The words of Gabriel, the angel Gabriel, and I will turn many of the sons of Israel back, and he will turn many of the sons of Israel back to the Lord their God, and he will go before him. He'll go before who? Before the Lord their God. He'll go before him in the spirit and power of Elijah to turn the hearts of the fathers back to the children, and the disobedient to the attitude of the righteous, to make ready a people prepared for the Lord. The angel Gabriel quotes the prophet Malachi. with the announcement that Zechariah, your son, the son that you have long prayed for and even given up on receiving, the son, in your old age, you and Elizabeth are going to have a son. And that son will fulfill the words of the prophet Malachi, the words of Yahweh, who prophesied the coming of the great and awesome day of Yahweh. Please consider with me, friends, first, there was a figurative fulfillment. The forerunner prophesied is John the Baptist, who comes in the spirit and power of Elijah, just as the angel said, just as Gabriel said. He will come in the spirit and power of Elijah. And our Lord Jesus repeated this, validating this, that Elijah had come already when the Lord's ministry was in full swing. John the Baptist was incarcerated in the dungeon, Herod's dungeon. And he sent friends, he sent messengers to our Lord to ask, are you really the one? Are you truly the one? Or should we look for another? And the Lord, he sent those messengers back with an answer, a good answer, a worthy answer. He sent them back to tell John what they had seen, prophecy being fulfilled. But also the message, blessed are those who are not offended because of him. But then he went on to talk about the greatness of John the Baptist. How of all the men that were born to women, none were greater than John. None. Our Lord says John was the Elijah that was to come. But that was the messenger, forerunner, for the first advent of our Lord. But there is a second advent, a second coming. And here Malachi speaks of that. When he said, I want to send you Elijah, probably before the coming of the great and awesome day of Yahweh. The great and awesome day of Yahweh. When the Lord comes in judgment, when he comes in that great and awesome way, John the Baptist will also be sent. Now remember in Revelation chapter 11, that our Lord sends two messengers, two prophetic messengers. And we've long wondered, and some, I guess, debate, who are those two messengers? And there's a case to be made for Moses and Enoch and Elijah, the two guys who were taken out of time. That's not, I suppose, beyond the realm of, possibility, but I lean more and still strongly suspect that it will be Elijah and Moses, or Moses and Elijah. But they have these things in common. You have Moses meeting with Yahweh on the mountain. We call it Sinai. It's also referred to in this very text as Mount Horeb. So, Exodus chapter 3, Moses meets God on that mountain. 1 Kings 19, Elijah meets Yahweh, God, on that mountain. And then there's the Mount of Transfiguration from Matthew chapter 17. And there, on that mountain, most likely Mount Hermon, both Moses and Elijah are together, meeting our Lord during his first advent. They meet with him in his glorified state on the mountain. Peter, James, and John are witnesses, and they testify to us of this. So that together they have these things in common. Two different mountains, different occasions, but they share these things. Moses representing the law, Elijah representing the prophets. But it's before the great and awesome day he comes, and he will turn hearts. Just as John the Baptist prepared the hearts, just as John the Baptist turned hearts to make them ready for the Lord's first coming. I maintain it'll be Elijah. Not figurative Elijah, but actual Elijah. Coming to make their hearts ready to receive their true Messiah. Well, there are those who disagree. Some say it'll be John the Baptist and Elijah, the first and second prophetic forerunners. Some say Elijah and Enoch because neither of them saw death. They were taken out of time. But I still lean toward Moses and Elijah. Elijah and Moses. But we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Can't really know. That completes our journey through the Old Testament. It's been a long journey, friends. It is my intention to go right into the New Testament. So let's take that journey together over the next year or whatever, however much time we have. Okay, we'll carry on. By the way, thank you for your input. I'll carry on just doing what I do. We'll not worry about production or any such thing. We'll just keep it raw. It's what it is. It's very raw. Questions and comments, send them to ccbangor.org. And tomorrow, for me, tomorrow, Friday, we will break into the New Testament, the Gospel of Matthew. All right, grace and peace to you all.